As sworn officers, we must do what is morally and ethically right. If your true intentions are for homeless solutions, then listen to all of the constituents, especially those that you're making decisions for. The realities of sweeps. Are they just to clean? If so, can we allow the impacted to have the tools to aid in these duties? Sweep people, or sweep trash, not people. Sweeps are intentionally disabling unhoused as they only get like 72 hours to get things moved. They're constantly moving. They can't get anywhere. They can't get a job. They can't take the time to figure out what's going on. Systemic racism and broken policies is what's creating this homeless crisis. We need to stop classifying, discriminating, and stereotyping all homeless. Many issues contribute to being outside, including abuse, evictions, natural disasters, lack of preventative services, addiction, loss of spouse or family members, tickets, hospital bills. Most families are only $400 away from being homeless. Let's evaluate sweeps. So loss of documents, survival gear, transportation, food, constantly moving equals the inability for people to progress. Jobs, wraparound services, and getting off the streets. We and they share your concerns for the environment, public health, and safety. They don't want to be outside, criminalized and freezing. Solutions include putting yourselves in their shoes. You wouldn't want to be in a room with 100 others with all different issues. You wouldn't want someone coming into your neighborhood and taking everything from you. You wouldn't want to be stereotyped, discriminated against because you didn't have a home. You wouldn't want to starve and face freezing to death. And you wouldn't want to be unheard by those who are elected to support and represent you. I feel that honestly the system really needs to be completely uprooted. The systems are broken all the way down. It's keeping the homeless down and it's putting people who are poor farther down. So we recently just had the no-fault eviction in Sacramento. Our council didn't pass it. So we have families that are going on the streets right now, including children and seniors. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person? We're on 2 minutes each, so.
Okay. My name is Alicia Cole from Santa Cruz. I didn't write anything down, but the reality is that it's cruel and unusual punishment to rip people's belongings out from underneath them frequently and make them replace their survival gear. I work with several organizations and we work towards replacing that gear, and it's a crisis. In addition, another thing that is hurting people is putting restrictions on how long they can have their tent up. In cities all across the area right now, they're trying to say that people can only erect their tent and have the right to sleep and be sheltered from the elements at nighttime. And we know that we have a lot of disabled people. I mean, one of our quickest growing class of homeless people is elderly and disabled. And they need to rest. A lot of them are sick. They have issues. They need to have a tent in order to keep their supplies, their medications. And we really need to find dignified, heartfelt, compassionate solutions rather than work on enforcement tactics. Right now, in most cities, we lack the resources to help people. And so we need to really work on that instead of criminalizing people for trying to survive. And so I really, really want you to understand that. I've seen people die. Last Sunday, we had a homeless woman die on Cedar Street in the streets of Santa Cruz. And had she been able to have adequate shelter or even just a tent and be left alone to rest and resources to come to her, she might not have died. And so it's human life at stake here, and I really want you guys to all consider that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we express our condolences for the loss of that person. Anyone else?
Rita Costa for Salinas. I just wanted to say the sweeps in Salinas, I know they're needed to help keep the areas clean, but also there's areas that people are working together to keep their space clean, and it is still hard having the sweep come in and having us move out. Sherwood Park residents are not at the park, but they're still there all day. They didn't want their property with them in the daytime, but where are we supposed to put it? We sleep across the street. We have people complaining because we keep crossing the street back and forth. There's no other way but to cross the street to get to the empty lot. Nobody leaves their things there. We're doing the 7 to 7, but again, it does take a toll on the person. I've been in and out of the hospital myself, having surgeries and everything, and to come out of the hospital and not have a place to rest does take a toll. You know, and Medi-Cal and stuff wouldn't pay for my, can't even think of it, for my antibiotics or anything like that. So again, it was hard. In 2 days, I go back to the hospital and then schedule another surgery. But being outside and being able to take care of myself is very hard. And again, the suites, I just lost all my property yesterday, not too sweet, but just to, if it's on wheels, it's easy to roll, you know, and when it's in a cart, nobody wants to push the shopping cart. So when people say it's easy for us, it is not easy pushing that cart. Nobody stole my stuff before, and I've been in it, homeless off and on. I had all my stuff on wheels, and every single thing of mine got taken yesterday. So again, I'm saying it's taking a toll on the people. People are getting sick and dying out here. We do need help, and we are trying to work with the city, but we also need our city to work with us. Salinas Police Department, very hard on us. We're not criminals. City of Salinas, we're not criminals. We're still part of the community. We would just like respect. You know, a lot of people have income, no affordable housing. No affordable housing and no affordable housing. You know, just want to say we need help, and we need help from our city.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Yeah, my name is Betty Rios from Sacramento. About the streets and stuff, it does need to stop. But I'm a domestic violence survivor right now. I went and done your guys' program, like they have us going to the shelter house. It does not work because they let my ex know where I was, and I didn't go take them no more. He threatened me to kill me and everything. They put us in the same home, the same house. The police broke my arm and everything. It was not right for the guys to do that. I have people that is still in my group is going to have a heart maker put in them, one has a heart maker taken out of them, one has multiple hernias, and they never help them guys. They need to make a change and get the ones off the street or disabled and elders out of there first, and then do homes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
I can't count this many times. I've had the police take things out of my hands. They've taken my tent out of my hands and thrown it in the garbage. You know what I mean? Multiple times. I mean, they've come with this big old claw and they just scoop all of our stuff up. And you know, another thing is when you move, it creates trash. So when they're helping us move every 72 hours or whatever, it's going to create trash. And then we don't have the receptacles to put them in. We don't have the wherewithal to do anything with the trash. Where are we supposed to put it? We don't have the tools. We don't have the garbage cans. And if we did have the garbage cans, like they don't come and empty them like they do for, you know what I mean? Like we're a lot of us do what we can to do that, but they put us in a position where, hey, we got to move in 72 hours, so why should, you know? So it kind of it falls on that, and you know we just have to keep moving, and keep creating trash, and then pretty soon nobody cares anymore. Like, and we're still out there though. We're still out there. There's a lot of us that are trying to keep things clean, and I wouldn't do that even if I had a house. I would do the same things. Clean my yard and you know, have same things I do at my tent. Same things. You know, I mean, this is life. You know, and that's all I want to say. Like, you know, the police just make it that much harder. You know, just make it that much harder.
Thank you very much for your comments, ma'am. Anyone else would like to speak on public comments now on today's agenda?
Wes Weiss, Salinas, co-president of the Salinas Monterey Homeless Union. Basically, we are here trying to ask for some kind of relief from this body. You know, the Leadership Council kind of is a continuum of care, and you know, I think somebody needs to pick up the ball and actually put us in a better, more, you know, fulfill your role. Your mission is to take care of these people, and you know, constantly 3-4 times a week, the same people are getting swept, and everything is theft. And it's survival gear. I mean, without shelter, what are you going to do? I mean, there's no shelter being offered. And like Rita says, you know, if you can't provide a home, stop taking the one they're making for themselves. And you know, it's too much. It's way too much. And there's a whole sweep industrial complex going on where the police are getting paid. The Smith & Enright is getting paid. You know, they're a landscaping company, but they specialize in the sweeps. We have other landscaping companies now doing landscaping. And then, you know, the dump is getting paid. Everybody else is getting paid, and it's being paid by human suffering. And nobody's paying attention. No, well, not my job, not my responsibility. I can't control the city of Salinas. They're your partner. What kind of game are we going toward? What is our goal? Because this is actually hurting a lot more than it's helping. And it's other cities too, but I see it most directly in Salinas because that's where I live. It's the biggest, it's the county seat. It's got 150,000 people in it. It's real easy to just glaze over. Right now, Caltrans is taking up some people from underneath the bridge. But is there a notice? No. Did they follow the law? No. But does it matter? No. Obviously, everybody's got dirty hands. Who's going to wash theirs? You know, I mean, step up, man, because people are dying outside. It's getting colder. It should already be colder. The climate change, of course, doesn't exist. So, you know, here we are. I mean, people are dying outside. And if you don't want to, if you don't have the funds, if people are signing up for cars, that should be an immunity from being swept. Right there. Plain and simple, case managed. Then you can change people's behavior if you accept them and give them permission to be somewhere.
Thank you, Wes. Anyone else on any item on today's agenda?
Can I say one more thing, please?
Very quickly, please.
You know, I was just wanted to say, you know, it's, oh, I lose my thought, but, keeping telling people that they can't belong here or there, we always ask, you know, if you don't want us here, where do you want us to go? There is no place for people to go. And to be told over and over again, you can't be here, then you ask where, they're like, anywhere but here. But if you can't tell a person where to go, how can you tell them to leave? You know, if you can't offer them housing, how are you going to take their tent? You know, it gets really, really hard. And again, I don't just speak for myself because I need, everybody needs all. There's so many homeless out here. No, there's some that choose to be out there, but there's ones that are trying to help themselves. And everybody gets still treated as if they're doing something wrong. You know, just remember, take into consideration, there is no place for people. That shelter is not going to house everybody and put them in there. We need a place to be. We need a property, rules run, tent community, something. But being told and shuffled around like cattle isn't working. It's not working.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very quickly.
Very quickly. So on behalf of the California Homeless Union and the National Union of the Homeless, we're asking you all to help us.
Yes, in 2015, we did a lot of work on the ground, and with Armenta and Jay Parker, they offered a state of emergency. The board directed all county to work with us as a state advisory committee. To be effective in our process and comprehensive, what I would like to request is that we create a steering committee of people from diverse populations and backgrounds. So, especially with the mandated care changes that are going to be coming from behavioral health themselves, and the definition of gravely disabled and possibility of people being incarcerated and mandated to care, that you create a steering committee that deals with harm reduction, that deals with access to service, because it's not just where people live, but because of the displacements, their safety, that they would be mandated to care. And my concern is to be able to have a steering committee that can inform and drive and with participatory research from the communities that are involved, so that we can have a safeguard so that individuals are not put in institutions because they're termed as gravely disabled from the state.
Thank you. Thank you for your suggestions. Anyone else on this? Any other comments?
I have
See, yes.
I think that wherever you guys go with this, like she's saying, a steering committee, you guys need to have the impacted voices. You guys hear from the residents, you hear from the businesses, you hear from these nonprofits that money's funneled into. But the needs are of these people. These people's voices need to be heard. And that's what I expressed at the League of Cities if you guys were there. We need to have a voice of the people in these communications.
Real quickly, I just wanted to add that the success of programs like that, it's my personal experience and my experience dealing with people in homeless situations, that it's not so much the way that the program looks as much as like the meat and bones to the success of that is going to be in who's managing it, who's working there, how the people are treated, the rules and regulations to getting in there, how much personal information you're requiring from the residents, whether they feel like you're there to help them or, you know, track them, get their personal information. There's a lot that goes into the success of this program, and very little of it is going to be what it looks like. So I just want to
I'm a displaced, I'm disabled, I'm a widow. I'm hearing everything about these shelters, but how about it now? I live in the park, Shores Gardens Park. I did, she told, I graduated, I did whole person care, I put applications everywhere, you guys. How about now? How about now?
Yes.
Oh, that was my question too. I was saying that's great, yay on the shelter. But what are we supposed to do in the meantime? And again, you said 100 beds. What about the other 900 or so people that are out here? We get harassed by the police department. Our city officials look down at us. Human beings trying to live in a city that doesn't even want us here, but they want the grant money. That's pretty sad because we get treated as if we don't even belong. I lived here over 50 years and I'm being told, try to find another place to live. So if my city can't take care of me, what am I to do? What am I to do? Where am I to go if we kept getting told to go here, go there, but no place safe? And when we do get a tent, because that's about what almost everybody can afford right now, because the housing is very expensive. Again, yay on the shelter, but what about us out here right now?
Like she was saying, what about now? Since we're being bounced around and there is no adequate shelter for everyone that's in this situation, why can't there be like an area where we can pitch a tent and not have to move in 72 hours and actually have some stability until there's an actual, room, shelter, home for us?
Transition housing program is really great for campsites also. It's been done.
Wait, okay, one person at a time. Anyone else that hasn't spoken yet? Wes?
So I was curious, with the 100 beds that are going into the new shelter, how many are we keeping the one at West Alisal open as well? And then are we?
That will not continue there.
So we're just cycling the same people, not 100 people, more like 20 people?
Answer your question. Any other